to you live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is Newsfeed. My name is Stanley Nyaringita. You are watching Newsfeed right here, TV47. And to our top story today, a major traffic snarl-up is being experienced at the busy Kisumu Kakamega Highway as a passenger train from Nairobi to Kisumu derailed this morning at Mamboleo flyover. While making its approach to Kisumu railway station, the front portion of the train came off its tracks, causing it to derail as it was carrying at least 250 passengers who escaped death by a whisker with no casualty reported. Confirming the incident, Railways OCPD Evans Gitembe, however, said in a telephone interview that preliminary reports indicated that the accident was caused by nature due to the heavy downpour experienced yesterday night that left the railway line muddy, rubbishing off claims by locals that the railway line had a culture of poor maintenance and making the rail not up to the required standards.
Ndio inapitaka saa 12. So ikipita ndio natoka naenda kazi. Sasa leo nimeshtukia tu hata nisikie kama inalia. Nipige pop. Cause nasikiaga nalalaga tu 444 ndio inaniamshaga. So nikishasikia kama inalia ndio naamka naenda kazi. So leo nimengoja kusikia sijasikia. So kufika asubuhi kitu saa 1, saa 2, saa 3 saa hii ndio nashtukia wengine wanakuja wakisema ati reli imeanguka. Afadhali serikali. Unaona kenye imetendeka hii ni mambo ya kukosa kumaliza hii flyover. Cause walikuwa najenga hii na waliacha mchanga mingi hapa kwa hizi sideways hizi barabara. So hizo unaona hizo mchanga zinatoka huko zinakuja na za kule zinakuja. Alafu zinakutana hapa katikati. Sasa zina place za kuenda cause hapa kuna mlima. So zingine zina trend huko na zingine zinakuja hazina njia. Wewe unapigia alafu
Moving on. As the country continues to battle with drug abuse menace, parents' failure to talk and advise their children has been cited as one factor that contributes to a large percentage of young people engaging in drug and substance abuse, leading to addiction. This also leads to moral degradation among young people, as our reporter Boniface Baraza now reports.
Drug addiction and subsequent abuse among young people is said to be a chronic problem that is currently affecting the society, which is the majority in the country. Some of the youths who talk to TV47 claim that youths find themselves in drugs through peer pressure after being neglected by their parents at home.
Vijana kuentel na drug abuse, maybe inaweza kuwa ni peer pressure. Unaona mbogi wenzako wanafanya kitu alafu wanakuvuta ufanye hivyo vile hao wanataka, unajikuta unaanza kutumia hizo vitu.
My friends wanaweza encourage ya kwamba uende engage in drugs so that uweze kujiondoa stress yenye uko nayo, pia labda peer pressure yenye uko nayo nyumbani, wazazi ku break up.
Among many myths associated with drug abuse, it is said that one of the main reasons the menace is becoming rampant among school-going children is the belief that using drugs enables them to pass exams.
Kama kuna friend ya mine huwa ananiambia ati ukitumia drug utapass exam, but me want to understand the more natumia drug inaku affect.
Dr. Eunice Temeta, mental health specialist at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital Eldoret, said immediate intervention is required as drug addiction endangers the life of many young people.
The youth these days are using a lot of substances. We have tobacco, alcohol that is being abused by the youth. So we need to talk to them about the effects of substance use. Alcohol use is one of the most common among the leading causes of death in Kenya today, and a big burden of disease that is resulting from substance use, mostly alcohol.
Early pregnancies and contraction of life-threatening STDs among the youth are also attributed to drug addiction.
Kuna mambo ya lesbians katika mashule, kuna mambo ya ushoga katika mashule, na pia kuna madawa za kulevya nyingi zinaingishwa katika mashule na pia katika wananchi wa kawaida. Na kama kanisa tumeweka hili jambo nyuma kidogo, tuna concentrate na line moja ya kuwazungumzia mambo ya kiroho. Tunasahau ya kwamba wana grow na wanakuwa, na kuna mambo wanahitajika tuweze kuzungumza one in one.
On his part, Reverend Paul Wahome has challenged parents and religious leaders to take an active role in parental care so that youths, especially in secondary schools, are not lost to the world of drug addiction.
Himizo langu kubwa kwa wazazi ni kwamba tukubali kuwa wazi na watoto wetu, na tujue watoto wetu ni marafiki zetu, watoto wetu ni baraka zetu. Kwa hivyo tusiwaogope na tusiendeleshe ile maisha ya zamani ya kwamba kuna kitu uwezi ambia watoto, kuna mambo muwezi ongea.
Boniface Barasa, TV47, Trans Nzoia County.
Thank you, Boniface Barasa. Now, Turkana Governor Jeremiah Lomurukai is now accusing the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of witch hunt with a view to undermine his performance in his county. This comes just hours after reports emerged that the Turkana County Chief could soon be arrested of allegations that he forged his degree and diploma certificates. Flora Limuki now reports.
A day after it emerged that Turkana Governor Jeremiah Lomurukai was on the ASCC radar for allegedly using forged academic certificates to contest in the Turkana gubernatorial seat, the governor has fired back at the anti-graft watchdog for what he terms as threatening leaders with accusations of corruption.
Even those institutions that have been harassing governors, but I'm not ready to be harassed. I will not be seeking for hideouts. At the governor na pichano kwa miti, at kwa sababu kuna watu wanakuja kushika. Mimi utanishika kama nakaa kwa kiti.
While claiming that his allegations are just a ploy to undermine county bosses from delivering on their mandate, Lomurukai echoed Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's sentiment that state agencies could still be used to undermine leaders.
The kind of disrespect we have seen towards elected leaders, all the way from the Deputy President to the governors, to the MPs, to the senators, to the women reps, by government functionaries, has come to an end.
The governor, elected on an ODM party ticket, will now face forgery charges contrary to Section 345 as read with 349 of the Penal Code. He will also be charged with giving false information to EACC and uttering false documents contrary to Section 353 of the Penal Code.
That kind of harassment must stop. And that is the message from the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Gachagua.
Lomurukai was among the 241 candidates flagged by the EACC as having outstanding integrity issues prior to the August 9, 2022 elections, and their names submitted to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Flora Limuki, TV47.
Thank you, Flora. Now, 10 farm workers at George's Farm in Mahimahi, Nakuru County are lucky to be alive after a herd of 14 elephants reportedly invaded the farm this morning, leaving a massive destruction of farm produce as the workers fled for their safety. One stray elephant is said to be still in the farm, while the rest have been subdued by KWS. We're now joined by our own Willie Dennis Njiru from the farm with the latest update. Very good afternoon to you, Dennis. What is actually happening in that particular farm? Has that stray elephant been found? Any casualties?
Thank you very much, my colleague Stanley from Nairobi. We are coming to you live from George's Farm right here in Mahimahi, where, as you've just narrated to our viewers, that a herd of 14 elephants invaded this George's Farm here in Mahimahi early this morning and had a mass destruction of crop. As you can see, most of it is just fruits. Like you can see just behind me is just a plantation of banana, but none of them is standing, as you can see. And just behind the camera person, behind us here, we have another line of mango and other fruits which have been actually destroyed. I'm informed that early today, the owner of the farm, who is just standing right next to me, called the KWS, and they were able to subdue about 13 elephants. As we talk now, one stray elephant is still roaming and is still not yet found, but as the other elephants were repulsed back to their territories, one is still stray. You understand that KWS has to take charge using the helicopter or the other crafts to enable this happen. But without taking much time, I will just for a few moments I'll speak to one of the lucky survivors and the owner of the farm to tell us what happened. Ndugu, nieleze kwa jina lako alafu mambo ilikuwaje?
Mimi naitwa Simon Lozinyano.
Ilikuwaje?
Tuliamka leo saa 11 tukaamshwa na soja wenye anachunga usiku. Akatuambia mandovu imeingia kwa shamba. Kuja tukapata kweli mandovu imeingia, wameanza kuingia huko kwa mandizi. Tukafurugana nao huku. Walikuwa wanatukimbiza mbio hivyo, tulikuwa pia na umbwa, ni kama ilikuwa inadharau hiyo kelele ya umbwa. Sasa tukafurugana hivi, ikafika saa 12 kama akaanza kuona imekwisha, akaanza kutoka. Sasa ndio KWS wakakuta hapo.
Asante, wacha tusikie kutoka kwa mwenyewe, yeye ndiye alipiga simu, KWS wakakuja. Let us know your names and we can see you're already up to task here. Yeah.
My name is George Mungai. I'm the owner of this farm in Maimahio. We plant fruits. I was called by the manager early this morning and he informed me that a herd of elephants were in the farm. So I did the due diligence and called the forest police and I called the KWS. And immediately I decided to come and see what's going on. I took my shotgun, took my sons, and we came to see what's going on. And we've been here since then. We are waiting for them to come back with a chopper to get the one elephant that's still a stray, that's still around here.
What is the size of the elephant that is still a stray?
It's big. It's big.
It's big.
Yeah.
We are told 14 elephants?
Total of 14. So they chased the 13 with a chopper. But one is still around here somewhere. That's why we have to be ready, because they were chasing the dog and they were chasing the workers. Yes.
So in terms of loss for value of property and crop, what can you do?
It's hard to estimate. We've been farming here for the last 6-7 years, and they've done quite a bit of damage on the mangoes and the bananas. Yes. Yes.
So any clamor, any clarion call? Because we have seen this again in a few instances in Naivasha town, where we also had a herd of elephants stray in the streets of Naivasha.
I don't know. Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask you, do you have any clarion call to KWS in regard to such stray animals invading?
No, this is actually the first time we've ever had elephants invade. We've had, monkeys. Not monkeys, what do you call them? Baboons. But other animals, but not elephants. No, this is the first time in the many years we've been farming here.
We have a few parks here, and we also have the Kieni forest just up here. Could you anticipate these could be due to shortage of water scarcity? Or
there's a drought that's going on in the country, so they look for anything green that they can feed on. So I think it's a menace because of the drought that's going on in the country. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Nyaringita, as you just heard it there from the owner of the farm, he can't actually quantify into what excesses he has run through. He has to take time to be able to quantify this. As you understand, the KWS has been on frantic efforts since 2014, when a new legislation was put in place to ensure that they compensate damages and life losses. What has been happening in the KWS and conflict with the animals and the public and the crops. But this we are yet to see what the KWS has to say about this, and when papers are presented to them, what they have to say. But from me here, this is part of the stories that we are going to be catching up later on in the evening to tell our viewers exactly what happened. But from me here in Naivasha, I take it back to you, Stanley, to continue the bulletin.
Well, thank you very much, Willie Dennis Njiru. Obviously, keep tabs on that story right there in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Now, Siaya Governor James Orengo is challenging President William Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza team to stop giving excuses and implement what they promised Kenyans during the campaign period. Orengo lamented that the few weeks that Kenya Kwanza has been in power has seen its leaders not live up to the hustler dreams and promises. The governor reminded President Ruto and his team that they will be judged according to the promises and whether they will implement them or not. He was speaking at the Siaya water treatment plant after launching the rehabilitation of Abura Dam and the old Siaya water supply plant. The project, which will cost 44 million Kenyan shillings, has been funded by the World Bank through the Kenya Devolution Support Program.
We'll observe that.
So remember that you'll be judged according to your promises. I know there was a lot of excitement when you were talking about your blueprint, your vision, which I'm seeing less and less being talked about. Our detractors, now that they have tested power, are talking less and less about the promises they gave and talking more and more about how to wield power and survive in the reins of power by whatever means. Kenya is watching, Kenya is listening, the whole world is watching and is listening, and we are not going to give up. Our duty is not to attain power, but make Kenya a fairer and a just society for the prosperity of all.
Right away from that, now sit down, relax and listen to this. Do you ever think about what life will be like if you are unable to sweat, or if you are unable to eat your favorite meal because you did not develop any teeth, or you developed very few teeth? Now imagine that it is your child, and that how they were born, and that there is nothing you can do about it. Our reporter Elizabeth Atieno caught up with two brothers living with a rare genetic condition referred to as ectodermal dysplasia and filed this report.
At exactly 3 p.m., we visit this home in Makadara area, Nairobi County. Here, we meet Sarah Wanjiru, a mother of 4. His 2 sons, 13-year-old Bernard Kamau and 4-year-old Darren Avisha, are busy playing inside their cool and well-ventilated house. Inasmuch as these 2 brothers would wish to go out and play with their age mates, their health condition is holding them back. Kamau and Darren are living with a rare genetic condition known as ectodermal dysplasia, which causes the skin, sweat glands, hair, nails, teeth, and mucous membrane to develop abnormally.
Every hospital I go to, you have to tell the doctor what is ectodermal dysplasia, because utaenda mtoto ngozi yake alichomeka, huyu mtoto damu yake iko chini, haumlishi vizuri, huyu mtoto yani yeye ana medicate kulingana na venye amefundishwa shuleni, but very few. Actually, out of the many pediatricians I've seen, 2 or 3 understand ectodermal. And even today, if I have an issue, I'll call that doctor.
Before I knew the name ectodermal dysplasia, I was living with my grandparents in Luanda, near Siaya, and I thought that I was the second Jesus coming because I was extraordinary. No one else looked like me. I could not sweat. I easily need water.
Despite feeling extremely hot, people living with ectodermal dysplasia cannot sweat since their body temperature is not regulated. They are therefore restricted in engaging in any activity that could generate a lot of heat in their bodies, as this would in turn lead to nose bleeding or convulsions.
There was an incident. I was playing with my friends, then all of a sudden I started to nosebleed. Hopefully my best friend called Emmanuel Ojong, who is a scout, knew first aid and came rushing to assist me. Then immediately I went to class. My locker was pushed near the window where there is enough ventilation.
While in school, Kamau has to sit near the classroom window and under a shade while out of class. He is also required to take water as many times as possible to keep his dehydrated body hydrated and cooled.
In my school, only I am the only person who has ectodermal dysplasia. And the teachers, my mom talked to them, the head teacher. Now, if by a chance I start to feel hot, I can just stand up, walk out of the classroom, go pour water on myself, or if I carry my fan, because my teacher allows that, I carry my fan, just turn it on and no one will ask me about it.
Ectodermal dysplasia patients have a very dry skin which peels off when exposed to heat. This special medicinal lotion, Epimax, is one of the few effective lotions used by ED patients. Kamau and Darren are only forced to eat light meals and specific fruits since they lack enough saliva needed to lubricate heavy meals like ugali, meat and even rice.
Darren anapenda ndizi, waru, malenge. That is starch. Literally everything is starch in that diet. But yeye hata ukimwambia kule mara 20 kwa siku, he will eat. So problem comes in ikikuja vitu ngumu.
Lack of the mucous membrane among people living with ectodermal dysplasia forces mucus to dry up in their noses, which makes breathing difficult. They are therefore forced to nebulize at least 3 times a day to clear the nose and make the breathing process easier.
So hautawaipata mtoto wangu mapua kama si kitiririka, but iko ndani. So at times inakuwa hard mpaka ina block mapua. with his asthma plus the chest plus everything else, sio mara moja, sio mara mbili nimeitwa kwa nyumba. Madara and come, mtoto ameshindwa kupumua.
Although this condition has no cure, its signs and symptoms can be treated and managed, although the treatment is costly. Kamau tells us that he has been forced to explain his condition to his schoolmates, with many isolating him.
But some pupils, class 8, made me felt like, what are you? Were you born like that? Were you banned? Where did you come from? But my mom told me one thing. If anyone asks you about that, just tell him, I know I am created in the image of God, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Despite the challenges, people living with ectodermal dysplasia tend to be very intelligent and wise, regardless of their age. Over 17,000 people are living with ectodermal dysplasia in the world. Patients have a survival rate ranging from 88.5% to 97.6%. Hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia is the most common type, which occurs in 1 in 20,000 newborns worldwide. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Right, thank you, Elizabeth Atieno, for bringing that particular coverage, quite a rare condition, to the limelight. Now, some agricultural news, and farmers in Embu County have been urged to plant early maturing and drought-resistant crops in the coming short rains, as the weatherman has forecasted to be below normal to curb food shortage. County Meteorological Officer Joseph Mutisi said the rains, whose onset will be between 4th week of October to 1st week of November, will not only be depressed but also poorly distributed in time and space. On his part, Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, researcher Murimi Kageti asked farmers to always plant certified seeds to increase yields. The national and county governments to come up with measures that will help the country shift from rain-fed to irrigated agriculture through construction of dams and water ponds.
Tunajaribu kuinvolve mkulima ndio iwe kitu tunaita participatory, such that ile technology tuna develop mkulima anaiona, inakuwa hata yeye aliparticipate wakati wa kuproduce, ndio hata akifanya hiyo akiapply hiyo technology, ni kitu ambayo anajua tulianza wapi, tumepitia stage gapi, tumefika wapi.
Na pia kwa sababu mvua iko kidogo, ni vizuri kupanda mboga kwa wingi na matunda ambayo yanaweza kustahimili kiangazi, ndio tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba tunalishe wakati wa mvua. Pia kuna mmoja wetu ameongea jambo la the special needs groups, kama watoto wachanga chini ya miaka 5, na pia watu wale wazee katika community, na pia nitaongezea kwamba wamama wajawazito wako na special needs. Kwa hivyo wakati huu ambao tutakuwa na kiangazi, pia ni vizuri kuangalia kwamba hizo groups zitakuwa catered for.
Moving on, the family of a 37-year-old woman in Mabondusi village in the outskirts of Kisii town remains in agony after the burial of their kin was halted by the court. The body will remain at the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary as clan elders squared it out over the parcel of land where he was to be buried. Beatrice Otare with the details.
Justice Orengo dismissed the application by the deceased, represented by clan elders who wanted the court to grant part of the land she alleged had been obtained fraudulently by some 4 individuals, further ruling that the applicant could not prove ownership of the land.
Following the foregoing, the application dated 5th of September 2021 is hereby dismissed. There shall be no orders as to cause, as this is a family matter.
Interestingly, the judgment was issued to the 2 clan elders appointed to stand in for the applicant who had been murdered allegedly over that same piece of land. Bernard Nyamanya, who is a member of the clan, said that they will still pursue justice despite claims that they did not have enough evidence. The land dispute cases have become rampant in Kisii, but efforts to find justice have remained futile.
Tutaenda tena kuendelea mbele kupigania haki ya huyu mama ili apate shamba lake mahali ataenda kusikwa. Unaona watu wengi ambao wanakufa siku hizi hapa Kisii ni maneno ya masamba. Na tukileta hiyo makesi hapa kotini na majaji wanaendelea kukataa ati hakuna usaidi ya kutoza na mtu ambao tayari ameuawa.
Another elder, referred to as Augustus, expressed disappointment on the judgment, claiming that even the land registry had denied existence of the title deed records of the current holders of the land. He added the case outcome will be reported to the clan elders to chart the way forward.
Sasa hatujui kama land registry mwenyewe amekataa, there are no records for the title deeds. Na sasa mahakama inasema it is the right procedure was followed and then the title deeds were issued. So what next? We shall have to look on